wrestling fans, I'd like to invite anybody out there on TV watching these wrestling programs. If you've got any desire and ambition to be a wrestler, you need to get in touch with us down at Ron's Gym. I've got a weight room down there to where we can build your body up, get you in condition, and get you in the ring, train you the right way, the way you should be trained, and get you off the ground and get you started in professional wrestling. Give me a call at Ron's.
Ron's Championship Wrestling is coming at you. Wrestling the way it was meant to be, old style. Now your host for Ron's Championship Wrestling, Ron Wright and Terry Landell.
Championship Wrestling. I'm Les Thatcher along with Ron Wright. Ron, we've got a big show for him today. We're going to see Sammy D taking on Cody Hawk in singles action. We've got Wild Man Jeff Anderson going against Dirty White Boy later in the show. Man, talk about Dirty White Boy and Jeff Anderson.
That ought to be a knockdown drag out.
Those guys have been at it from beginning to end. It's kind of like Les Thatcher and Ron Wright 30 years ago.
Goes back a long way. Them boys been after each other as long as I can remember.
And of course, we're going to have Dick Steinborn with us later today.
He'll be out here later in the program today.
History of professional wrestling in Knoxville. Dickie was certainly a large part of that. And I think Dirty White Boy is going to join us here on the set in just a moment. And I think he's got some comments about what...
Here he is. Come out in here, White Boy.
We're talking about the attack last week on TV by Jeff Anderson. Of course, that led to a match. And before we get your comments, we've got a minute's worth of tape on that. Let's take a look at that. We'll come back and hear what you got to say.
All right.
Let's take a look at that tape right now. Are they going to be able to make the tag here? Let's see. Whitmer's closer. Hawk making the crawl. He's going to get the White Boy first, I think. I do believe he's going to make the tag. He does. All right. Fresh man in.
Well, he's hitting with a fist right there, Les. I want to know. I'm not trying to get the roll. Now he's got an elbow on him.
Yes, he did throw a couple elbows. That's called a body slam, Terry Landell.
Like he's handling both.
Clothesline and knocks Marcus out of the ring. Let's see where he's going with Whitmer. Cody Hawk outside going after big money. I'm telling you, Hawk and White Boy as a team are looking good. Leg drops Whitmer. Whitmer sitting.
Well, step back there left and watch what happens right here. Right here it is. Now that's just going to be right there in Knoxville, Tennessee. That's what the White Boy, he's just getting a sample of it.
Referee Andrew Murray is calling a halt of this thing. Marcus and Whitmer doubling up on Cody Hawk, and that's given Jeff Anderson all he wants of White Boy. He attacked him from behind, Terry. Now, if that constitutes being a great athlete,
that ain't the way it happened. Your eyes is bad out here, Les. Everybody in Knoxville tonight, that's what the Dirty White Boy is going to get.
Well, I can tell you right, Anderson rolling out of the ring, leaving White Boy laying.
It's about got out of hand.
Yes, it has. Marcus and Whitmer taking Cody Hawk out of this. White Boy might be hurt. Jeff Anderson, in his haste, almost tripped over the guardrail. But he looks like he's headed our way here.
I hope you got that on. That's what
We got it on.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, hey, the White Boy, that's the best thing ever happened to him, and he thinks that's going to be something. You wait tonight in Knoxville, Tennessee, he's going to get a worse.
So you are making the challenge.
That's none of your business. What I'm going to do, Les Thatcher.
Well, what is
my man Jeff Anderson will be out here to take care of the Dirty White Boy.
All right, we're back, and there you have it, White Boy. Your comments on what we just saw.
Well, you know, I've been all over the world, and all the things that I've ever done to somebody or had done to me, I've always done it straight up, eyeball to eyeball, head on towards a man. You know that for a fact.
I know that.
Amen.
But for a man to come up and Pearl Harbor me from behind, I'm the heavyweight champion here. I expect him to show me some respect and take me head on. Well, if he wants to play these dirty games and he wants to be this way, that's fine and dandy, because I did learn one thing from this man right here, and that is to be ruthless and be the meanest SOB walking the face of the earth. I learned that from this man, and Jeff Anderson, that's exactly what's going to happen, because the Dirty White Boy will seek revenge. I will have revenge, no matter what the cost is. If I've got to catch you down in the parking lot, when you go get your groceries, you go pick your children up from school, look over your back because the white boy will be there. Because, you know, I didn't get the name, the dirty white boy, by helping old ladies across the street.
I know that.
I got the name by beating people up, and that's exactly what I'm going to start doing.
And I do remember a time when this man was managing you a number of years ago.
Exactly.
So, and if anybody can teach you how to be nasty and downright mean, it would be Ron Wright.
Right here.
It would be Ron Wright.
we did.
And, of course, this is not the first heavyweight title you've ever held, so they're not messing with a rookie here.
No, that's exactly right. You can look at my old bald head. I've been beat up and drug all over this country and all over the world, and took on the best that there is. I consider myself one of the best. That's not tooting my own horn. That's just pure facts. And I plan on, I'm really excited about Ron's Championship Wrestling, and my main goal right now is to be the best champion I possibly can for these many, many fans out here. And Jeff Anderson, I guess I'm going to have to make an example out of him.
Well,
Good job.
we're looking forward to it. White boy, pleasure talking to you.
Thank you both very much.
All right.
Have a good day.
We're going to have to take a break. We'll be back with action right after this.
Hello, this is Terry Landell with Tennessee Bonding Company. You know, everybody goes to jail out there. We want everybody to give us a call, 865-522-1776, and call Tennessee Bonding Company if you get put in jail.
Hello there, wrestling fans. I'd like to invite anybody out there on TV watching these wrestling programs. If you've got any desire and ambition to be a wrestler, you need to get in touch with us down at Ron's Gym. I've got a weight room down there to where we can build your body up, get you in condition, and get you in the ring, train you the right way, the way you should be trained, and get you off the ground and get you started in professional wrestling. Give me a call at Ron's Wrestling School. We appreciate it.
Wrestling fans, this is our opening contest of this edition of Ron's Championship Wrestling. Singles match, 1 fall, 10-minute time limit. Your referee, Double A. Introducing first, from Malibu, California, weighing in at 225 pounds, Surfer Cody Hart. His opponent from Knoxville, Tennessee, weighing in at 285 pounds. Let's give it up for Sammy V.
All right, we're ready to go. Sammy V out against Cody Hawk. And joining Ron and I at the desk, Terry Landell.
You know, I think this right here, this match right here, this boy right here, I looked at him there last week on TV, and this boy right here can help me right here in Knoxville, Tennessee, Les Thatcher, and I'm going to try to get this guy to sign a contract right here today. Ron, this is your little pet, Sammy V.
I don't think nothing little about Sammy V, about 285 pounds raw bone.
Well, you know, we can get
lean muscle.
What? Where? Here, Ron, here's my glasses. Check this out again. Because the other guy in there is my pet. We can start a feud here all over again if you want.
I'd say we could. Look like they're both top wrestlers.
Cody Hawk with a headlock right now. And, of course, we got coming up the big main event, Anderson against Whitmer. Man, that one on to tear the roof off the building.
Yeah, and that's something that they probably want to do is sit down in their house and watch Wild Man Jeff Anderson beat the white boy right here today.
Wishful thinking, Landel. You just keep on wishing and thinking.
Sammy V with a toe hold. Cody Hawk reverses it, slips it into a headlock. Hawk, a good chain wrestler. You don't want to go to the mat with this guy unless you got experience. He'll switch on you and hook you. Side suplex.
I don't like the way this right here.
What? What is he doing?
Landel, you never know what that man's going to do.
What? Terry
Over here running his nose and mouth where it don't belong.
What exactly is going? He's trying to. Why would he be trying to sign him to a contract in the middle of a match?
You can't tell what Landel's going to do. Sometimes his brain's a little light up there.
What brain?
What little he's got is kind of light on the side there. I don't know what he's got on his mind. Trying to get another wrestler over his stable. Any wrestler comes in here, shows promise, he goes out and tries to sign them, get them over in his stable.
Is that what he's trying to do? What is that?
None of your business what I'm trying to do. I want you to know in Knoxville, Tennessee, it's all about money, and I've got the money, Les Thatcher, so I'm going to buy this boy's contract.
We get you off the TV. You're boss the TV. We get you out of here. I'm going
He's not only got the money, he's about to have my foot in his rear end.
Yeah, that's what it is. He keeps running his mouth.
Exactly. Let's bring Dick Steinborn in here.
Hey, Dickie.
we're gonna have to go to personality profile. We're gonna and believe it or not, Ron is interviewing me on that. And when we come back, we'll be talking to Dick Steinborn.
Welcome to Personality Profile this week here on Ron's Championship Wrestling. My guest this week, legendary wrestling performer and one of the greatest wrestling commentators of all time with the legendary Southeastern Championship Wrestling, Les Thatcher. And Les, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Ron, it's a pleasure to be here, and that's coming home to Knoxville is like coming home. This has always been my second home. And, you know, being a part of Ron's Championship Wrestling, this takes my first match in Knoxville went back in 1968 at Bill Meyer Stadium, and working for Ron's Championship Wrestling as a commentator now means 7 promotions that I have worked for in the last 35 years in this city. So if Knoxville isn't my home, it should be.
I can agree with you there. You were tag team partners at Whitey Caldwell with one time, and you had a very serious rivalry with Ron Wright at one point, did you not?
Yes, as a matter of fact, when John Kazana first got back on television, I believe it was Channel 25 in 1969, the Wrights and Whitey Caldwell and I were the hot teams. And I believe we held the record for the outdoor attendance at Chilhowie Park. We had some bloody battles up and down East Tennessee, Morristown, Newport, Lord knows only where. And yeah, Ron Wright and Don Wright were two of the, I wouldn't tell you they were two of the greatest technical wrestlers I've ever seen in my life, but when it come to brawl, and they were two of the best.
I'll tell you, I rode up and down the road a lot with Ron here the last year and a half or so. You remember the night you walked in the dressing room there at Chilhowie Park when you were getting ready to face off with him for the first time, and you'd heard about his chisel, and you went and had a little conference with him before you got in the ring that night about his chisel. You remember that?
I believe I do remember that, yes. He had a set of knucks that he had special made for him that he only had to pop you with him once, and you needed stitches after it was over. And I think I said, I don't believe that that's necessary, and if it is, I'm going to take it away and use it on you if I get the chance. But he got his shot. He always gets his shot.
Well, he's been one of the toughest here in East Tennessee, I know that. Let's talk about your, when you retired from wrestling, from active competition, you moved behind the microphone and become the commentator, the main commentator, along with Phil Rainey for one of the greatest wrestling shows of all time, Southeastern Championship Wrestling. That's what we're trying to get back to here with the original style. Do you see this promotion going in that direction?
Gosh, I hope so. That's one of the reasons I wanted to come. You know, like I say, I love Knoxville, and I was happy to be invited back. A few of the wrestlers that I train up in Cincinnati are going to be wrestling on these shows, and yes, I think it should go back. I realize the value of entertainment. I realize this is the year 2002, almost 2003, and I also realize that it's still called wrestling. That's what's on the marquee. So I think a good combination of entertainment and good, solid, old-style wrestling is exactly what they should be looking for.
Well, I know that the fans are excited about that, and my very first match was under, or my very first attendee, first time I went to a match was under Southeastern Championship Wrestling at the Dobbin Bennett High School Gym in Kingsport, Tennessee. And I got to meet Professor Malenko up close one night and didn't really mean to. Fell down going out, and I had hollered at him all night long because he, at that time, was involved in serious matches with the one-man gang, Ronnie Garvin, which, in my opinion, they reached the same status as Ron Wright and Whitey Caldwell with their actions in the ring and their, you know, the way that they were able to perform. I was on my way out, and I fell backwards, and looked up, and he was standing right over top of me there with Bob Roof, and they actually helped me up. I was scared to death. But he was one of the greatest performers of all time, and I really enjoyed watching him, and it's really an honor to be able to sit here and talk with you. I know that you knew him and the Mongolian Stomper very well. I've told the fans here that the Mongolian Stomper is the man that inspired me to become a wrestling fan, and got a chance to meet him too several years later, and it was really an honor. So that's what we're trying to get back to, is performers like that and matches like that, bring it back to Knoxville.
Well, you know, I think that a lot of the performers that you see now that are throwback to that, if you're watching WWE, Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho, Eddie Guerrero, of course Guerrero is a second generation wrestler, Randy Orton, third-generation wrestler. And I think the cycle is turning its way back. And the guys you're talking about, Boris Malenko was a tremendous gentleman, a class act, and a very, very tough competitor. His son, Dean, and I are very good friends. Dean is road agent now for WWE, and we talk about the old days quite a bit. And yes, Boris Malenko was a tough man. I mean, he was tough in that ring, and he taught his sons to be very good as well. But I hope that, you know, the style we're talking about is what Ron's Championship Wrestling is going to be about. It's got to be entertaining, but nonetheless, the marquee says wrestling, and I think that's, you know, the good, sound, basic wrestling knowledge that that we had 30 years ago, I think stands in good stead today.
Well, I know that was one of the greatest productions that I can remember, Southeastern. It was without a doubt the favorite, and we've been asking the fans to send in old tapes and stuff. We're trying to get all that stuff together as we can, and it's a real honor for me to sit here with you and talk to you, and I'd like to have a chance to talk to you before you leave to go out and maybe get a few pointers on what I need to do to improve myself. But it's definitely an honor to get to sit and talk to you. Where do you see this promotion going in the near future, and long range, what do you think will happen here in Knoxville with Ron's Championship Wrestling?
Well, I would hope it's going to showcase a lot of fine young talent and some of the older veterans, and I feel good about being a part of it, and I hope the only way to go is up. It's been a real pleasure talking with you, Ron, and it just tickles me to death to be back in Knoxville, my second home.
Well, Les, it's been a pleasure having you here on Profile. We're looking forward to the matches. Hope that you bring the fans a lot of exciting action in the future. Fans, that's going to about do it for this week's edition of Personality Profile. Let's go back to the studio for more action.
Well, we're back. I enjoyed doing the profile with Ron and talking about some memories of Knoxville wrestling. This guy sitting between Ron Wright and I has a lot of memories for me. Dick Steinborn, welcome aboard.
Good, sure, as a pleasure, Les.
Good seeing you, Dick. I'm telling you. I'll tell you one thing, wrestling fans. You've only got one legend here. You've got three of the old legends in wrestling in the entire United States.
Did he have to say old?
Together.
Yeah, I guess so. It's all written all up here. You know, Ron, I was looking at my record books, and I kept a pretty good account of my career. I've never beaten you. Of all the times I've wrestled you in tag matches, it was you or your brother or somebody who pulled some sort of kind of deal. We pulled something. We weasel out is right. Let me tell you one thing, wrestling fans. It always starts someplace, and I guess it starts here in your living room. And Ron did me a favor. He called me long distance in Richmond, Virginia, says, come on up and visit for a week. I want you to be my agent. And the reason he wants me to be his agent because there are a lot of young wrestlers in the United States who want to become professionals. I live in the state of Richmond, Virginia, in the city of Richmond, in the state of Virginia. There is nothing but wrestlers there. They have them in high school, college. They have them in the junior colleges. So I will be looking out and being in touch with this organization and probably sending some wrestlers over. And don't be surprised if some of them have masks on because some of them don't want to turn pro that early. But it's a pleasure being here today. I'll tell you, Les, you're looking good, too, for your age.
Dickie, you're looking good for my age.
Yeah.
Listen, we kind of got Les when I told him how old me and you were, but we're a little older than Les.
I'm the junior member of this trio, believe it or not. But listen, stick around and call this next match with us, if you will. We're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be back with more action right after this.
Hello there, wrestling fans. I'd like to invite anybody out there on TV watching these wrestling programs. If you've got any desire and ambition to be a wrestler, you need to get in touch with us down at Ron's Gym. I've got a weight room down there to where we can build your body up, get you in condition, and get you in the ring, train you the right way, the way you should be trained, and get you off the ground and get you started in professional wrestling. Give me a call at Ron's Wrestling School. We appreciate it.
Hello, this is Terry Landell with Tennessee Bonding Company. You know, everybody goes to jail out there. We want everybody to give us a call, 865-522-1776, and call Tennessee Bonding Company if you get put in jail.
All right, we're back, and Jeff Anderson entering the ring. He's taking on the Dirty White Boy. And gentlemen, both of you have been in feuds throughout your career, and I think this thing with Anderson and White Boy is erupted into a real explosion.
Well, you know, Anderson's kind of new to the game, I presume, but White Boy's been around a long time, and I think he's got some good tricks up his sleeve because when you're a champion, it takes a lot out of you to be made a champion.
You're absolutely right. Talk about Dirty White Boy, here he comes, and I don't think he's waiting for an introduction. He's going after Jeff Anderson right now. The wild man Jeff Anderson is being tamed by the Dirty White Boy. Jump in, gentlemen. No time, did he?
Beautiful hip punch. Well, that White Boy still got it, Ron. He's got that fire.
top wrestlers there, but you get old dirty white boy fired up, he's going to go with anybody.
That's all it takes.
Anderson cuts him off with a poke of the eye, going to work on him. And of course, you know, everyone looks at Anderson as the brawler here, but we both all know the White Boy can brawl with the best of them too, so Anderson has taken White Boy's game right to him.
They're trying to wear each other out as quick as possible. It's an old ploy that he did in wrestling. Try to tear him down as quick as you can, and then slap a good wrestling hold on him and let him try to get out of it. Try to pin him.
White Boy choking him down across that middle rope right now. And, of course, as I said, White Boy joining Anderson in Anderson's game, and I don't know if Anderson can beat White Boy at his own game or not.
Well, we'll see.
Now, you can't underestimate either one of those. I've seen both of those wrestle, some of the toughest wrestlers in the country. Got to give them both credit. They're athletes for anything that comes their way.
Here comes the count. 2. Out on 2.
Anderson kicks out. White Boy hasn't shut him down yet. You look at him tearing at the nostrils. And, of course, we all know once you take the oxygen away from an athlete, the brain goes to function either, right, Dickie?
Right, you can't breathe correctly. You're breathing correctly, and you make a few mistakes along the line. Is that referee Matt McMurray?
That is Matt McMurray, the referee for you and I back in the Southeastern days.
Well, he still has it, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's still a good official. We want to remind you fans to check the Ron's Championship Wrestling hotline and website for the next TV tapings here at the National Guard Armory in Knoxville. And, of course, there is wrestling on the 25th coming up at the Armory. A big show that night. Snapmare by Anderson.
Caught him right across the ear. Wow, that was clever.
Wait, what's he going for here? That looks like a little Ron Wright chain to me there.
Looks like you got a chain up under the mess there.
And I think that anybody who learned to wrestling in East Tennessee had to be copying that from Ron Wright.
Well, now I know why you never beat me. And I never beat you, rather.
Yeah,
I remember that chain.
I
My
always
gosh.
had something besides them to do.
Well, you were just a winner. Heck of high water, right? You're going to win one way or another.
McMurray didn't know he was using the chain to choke him down. Anderson's spending too much time with the fans. He's going to give White Boy a chance to regroup, and if he does, he's in trouble.
Come on, White Boy.
Looks like he's hurt pretty bad, Ron.
Dickie, I don't know about you. I think Anderson's being too methodical at this point. You got the advantage. Try to get him out of there. Beat him as quick as you can, right?
Right. See, Ron, he just told you.
He don't like me because I pull for the White Boy.
It's the clothesline. Diving clothesline by White Boy that drops Anderson. And if White Boy can get on top of him, he can get back in this one and get back in it strong.
You know, that move was one of Lou Thesz's favorite moves. Diving off that top rope and throwing the whole body against the opponent's body.
Yes.
I guess the old holds are just as good as the new ones, especially some of the old ones that used to be submission holds.
You're absolutely right. I think they recycle like clothing styles, Dick. A lot of the stuff that you and I did 30 years ago would be brand new today.
That's right.
Anderson with a couple elbows trying to cut White Boy off. He moves in. Snapmare. What's he going for here? Elbow. Nobody home.
That hurt. Boy, that hurt. You can sprain your wrist real quick with that.
Anderson rushing. White Boy going to try and cover him here. Didn't have both them shoulders covered.
Both men look like they're wearing down, Les.
I was just going to say, it's taking its toll on both these guys, and it looks like Anderson's using White Boy to stay on his feet. This is just an old-fashioned Ron Wright type brawl.
Knockdown, drag out, back alley type brawl.
And Dick Steinborn and I both have been on the other end of that.
Yeah, we've been on the scientific end, and this is unusual for me.
Anderson outside, he's got a 5 count to get in. He moves it. White Boy's been slowed down. He needs to get back in this one. What's Anderson going for? Something in the knee pad? I can't. It's that chain again.
Got it again, Ron.
Mac, you got to get up under there and check for it.
Did you win? what you win, white boy.
You get on that bicycle, stay away from Anderson, get a chance to pull it back together. Anderson's arm whipping him cross ring. Sets up for the backdrop, and he telegraphed it.
Beautiful kick.
Beautiful.
He got him down that time. He's still hurt, though. Look at that, Les.
Yep. White boy's unable to take advantage of that.
Well, he put the brakes on him just for momentarily.
He's coming back on him now. Let's see where he's going. Going for the snap suplex.
Oh, they're pretty.
Man, that hurt all the way out here, dude.
It not only hurt, but it was pretty.
It was pretty. Nice one. White boy still having trouble getting it back together. Anderson can still get back in this thing.
Finish him off, white boy.
I had to pick somebody here to call a winner. At some point, I couldn't do it. Both these guys have battled and battled hard, and it's taken its effect on both competitors.
There it is. That must be something he likes very much. He's telegraphing it. What you gonna do, Ron?
I don't know. He's got the new one on me. He got something on it.
Oh, he got the choke slam.
Choke slam. Wait a minute. DJ Whitmer and Big Money Marcus in the ring. Obviously to help Jeff Anderson, putting the boots to White Boy. Marcus and Whitmer.
This is uncalled for.
And just when you figure that Tony Anthony might have won this daggone thing, outside interference. And I've got to believe that it had to be Terry Landell that sent him out there, Ron.
I'd say he did. I don't see him around. Back there sniggering over something.
Man, they need to shoot some. Right now, it is 3 against 1. And there, wait a minute. Here comes Rick Cannon and DG 2000 in to make a save.
Didn't take them long to get out of there, did it? When it got evened up.
Boy, something tells me that Landel is a troublemaker.
Yes, seems to be. That hasn't changed, I don't think, from day one. Let's see what referee Matt McMurray's decision. I would assume the disqualification would give the win to White Boy, since it was on Anderson's behalf that Whitmer and Marcus ran in.
Well, it looks like somebody's taking the belt without their permission.
Nope.
No, McMurray says no.
McMurray's disqualified him. There you have it. Dirty White Boy wins by disqualification as B.J. Whitmer and Big Money Marcus make the save for Jeff Anderson is throwing a hissy fit. Dickie, we're about out of time. We sure appreciate you sitting with us.
Enjoyed coming here, and we'll be looking for some new stars. I'm going to be sending up with Ron now that I'm one of his agents for the state of Virginia.
Always a pleasure having you, for Ron, Dickie, myself. Thanks for being with us, and join us again next week for more Ron's Championship Wrestling.